Hello, and welcome to A Fan Reads The Star Wars Vault. In this episode, Fanning the Flames. Star Wars marketer and merchandiser Charles Lippincott, who had gone to USC Film School with Lucas, knew that imagery was the key to selling Star Wars. After all, Ralph McQuarrie's stunning paintings had helped point production into the right direction. So early in 1976, he took a slide carousel with art by McQuarrie and ILM art director Joe Johnston to a 26 Films for 76 event staged by Fox to excite theater owners looking to book their 1976 slate. At that point, executives expected to release Star Wars during the holiday season, but dazzled by the likes of author Sidney Sheldon, who wrote the novel adapted for the eagerly awaited The Other Side of Midnight, and Jane Fonda, star of Julia, the exhibitors all but ignored Star Wars. They absolutely sat on their hands, Lippincott recalls. With only 15% of expected bookings, the future looked grim. A sole consolation was that a month earlier, Newsweek had prominently displayed Quarrie's TIE Fighter cockpit painting for a major article on all things science fiction, including movies. The writer wasn't exactly optimistic about the film's prospects, a less intellectual, $9 million movie about a juvenile gang rumbling against fascist oppressors of the galaxy, he called it, but any exposure was positive, especially since the published image conveyed the unique feel and scope of Star Wars. After the disappointing response from theater owners, Lippincott, a big comic and sci-fi fan himself, decided on a new tack, one that has changed the way Hollywood markets its genre movies. He'd skip over the bookers and appeal directly to the potential audience. Armed with scores of new production photos, Lippincott decided to hit 3 major comic and sci-fi fan conventions in the summer of 1976. First, he took his upgraded Star Wars slide carousel to Los Angeles' WesterCon, a gathering that attracted hardcore science fiction fans. Even with the lavish artwork and on-location imagery, they proved a tough audience. Without the benefit yet of any special effects photography, Lippincott was faced with a crowd of sci-fi fundamentalists who couldn't understand why a modern film would employ sound in space. 2001: A Space Odyssey didn't. Fantasy-based laser swords and a seemingly simplistic good versus evil plot. Lippincott was convinced that he had a hot property, but realized that the audience that he needed to attract probably read more of Stan Lee's Marvel Comics than Isaac Asimov's cerebral science fiction. In fact, Marvel had already agreed to print a 6-part Star Wars comic to tie into the movie, so the next stop was San Diego Comic-Con. With his slide carousel under one arm and freshly printed Star Wars Poster 1 sheets under the other, Lippincott descended on the late July convention along with Marvel's contributing editor and writer of the Star Wars comic series, Roy Thomas, and his primary artist, Howard Chaykin. Both were veritable gods in the world of comic book fandom. For the comic convention, Lippincott asked Chaykin to create a poster, something that captured the spirit of the film but also spoke to a comic book audience. This time, the response to the slideshow was nearly universally upbeat, and the fans were excited. Last stop on the circuit was Kansas City for the granddaddy of conventions, the World Science Fiction Convention, or WorldCon, which started in 1939. Knowing that the film's concept had to really score with this group of fans, Lucasfilm went all out to bring a bit of Hollywood glitz to the normally staged surroundings. This time, Lippincott brought producer Gary Kurtz and star Mark Hamill with him and decked out an entire meeting room with props, costumes, and artwork. Unlike WesterCon, convention goers were impressed by Lippincott's pitch, and the exhibit was a hit. These trailblazing efforts to engage the fan community started the all-important buzz and paid off big time when Star Wars opened the following summer. That's it for now. Thank you for watching A Fan Reads The Star Wars Vault.